Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And make sure to hit that like button because this MLB the Show 18 franchise with the Miami Marlins is heating up as we look at some of these games going into September, as we're going into this 3-game series versus the St. Louis Cardinals, and it's actually a 4-game series. We win 2 of the first 3, but we are going into the second week and we're going into a couple of divisional games. But this episode, once again, we're focusing on the AA playoffs. You can see here we did end up winning the first series. Now we're up 2-0 in the second series to Pensacola as we give the ball to Jared Padilla. Can we go for the sweep and make it to the AA championship? And I don't know who we'll play, but I mean, this will be a huge feat, especially with all the stars at our AA level. So let's get into this action, man. Elvis Aguirre coming to the plate in the first inning. You know he's got that 94 speed, and on that one he does swing and miss as Jahmai Jones comes up next, and he hits a hanger, but that one gets through the middle as Jahmai Jones with that 85 speed, always a threat to steal, but Lucas Salih doesn't need a hit and run. The pass ball advances Jahmai Jones to second base as Lucas Salih gets a 3-2 pitch, and he golfs this one into center field. Jahmai Jones is going to be tagging on this one, and you know he's got speed, so he's going to make it in there safe. So a guy on third here with the man of the hour, Max Liebum, who's been the hottest player on our team in this playoffs. He delivers with a hit up the middle as we take the 1-0 lead early on in this game as Hassan Diaz comes up, but he can't do anything more in this inning as he grounds out to the second baseman. So back to the pitcher's mound here. Jared Padilla is actually a pretty good pitcher, but here he's giving up a hit down the left field line as Max Liebum fields that one off the wall. And if you look at that, that's actually the pitcher right there. Got a double as the next batter comes up and we walk him. So Padilla's getting into a little bit of trouble here in the third inning as he gives up a big ride to deep center, and Elvis Aguirre is going to field this one, but luckily the guy on second, the pitcher, only has 8 speed, can't tag up on that one, but the next batter does deliver with a hit down the right field line. Howard Armas fields that one, but not before a runner comes across the plate to tie this game up at 1 apiece. But the next batter comes up. Lucas Salih makes a great play at third base, throws the runner out at first base, but we do give up 1 run. But Jared Padilla does begin to settle down here in the 5th inning as he gets a batter looking that time and gets a ground ball to Jahmai Jones. And that is going to be, it's going to be 5 pretty good innings for Jared Padilla. Besides that 1 run, didn't give up many hits, and I think he did his thing. So now on to the bottom of the 5th inning. Here is Jahmai Jones this time getting the hit. Actually, that's actually Aguirre getting the hit down the right field line as Jahmai Jones comes up next, hits a chopper to the shortstop, advancing Aguirre to third base. Didn't really need it with that 94 speed, but here's Lucas Salih, 0 for 1 up to this point and a walk. And on a 0-2 count, he gets a pitch low in the zone, and he's going to drive this one to right field as the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp do take the 1-run lead here in the 5th inning with a chance to go to the championship series as Max Liebum comes up and he hits a dribbler, a little Texas leaguer, and that gets past the right fielder. Look at this. Look at Max Liebum with 70 speed. He's rounding third, heading home, and the throw is going to be offline as Max Liebum does get the inside the park home run. Look at from the jump. He was determined to go all the way. Look, he's not even looking at the ball. He's just running all the way around the bases. And just like that, it's a 4-1 lead for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp as Jared Padilla continues to pitch well, this time out of a jam with a guy on second and third here with 2 outs, gets another ground ball to Lucas Salih, and that is going to be 6 innings of work for him. And We move on to the 7th inning in this game. We're moving along pretty nicely, keeping this lead intact as Elvis Aguirre does pop up to the right fielder as Jahmai Jones comes up next. 3-2 count, and he continues a pretty good game as he gets the hit here in the 7th inning on a 3-2 count. So here comes the meat of our order. Lucas Salih and Max Liebman, who have been hitting the ball pretty well. Salih hits one hard up the middle off of the pitcher, and that's going to bring up the man of these playoffs, Max Liebman, on a 0-2 count. Gets a pitch to hit, and he hits one to the left center gap as Lucas Salih, round second, heads to third. He gets in safe, and another RBI by Max Liebman in this game, and he is definitely our MVP up to this point as Asan Diaz comes up to the plate, and he gets a hanger over the middle, and he drives it over the right fielder, and that is going to be another run as we take the 7-1 lead in this game, and we are in the driver's seat to go to this championship game as Lamont Wade comes up, but he can't do anything. He grounds out to the third baseman. So here with 2 outs, Ryan Brinker comes up. He draws the walk. So now here comes Howard Armas here. 3-2 count, 2 outs, gets a pitch to hit, and another hit to the left side on a hit and run that time. The runners were on the move, and another run comes across the plate. And wow, what a game it's been for our offense here in this clinching game as Brandon Rodriguez comes up to pinch hit, but he hits it on the screws right to the center fielder. So we're going to take this one all the way to the 9th inning as we have Pearson on the mound for us, and he gets a ground out for the first batter. 1 out, 2 more outs away from going to the Double-A championship as we get a pop-up to left field. 1 more out for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and with guys on first and second, Trey Pearson gets the strikeout on the high and in tight fastball. And what a season it's been for this Double-A squad as our offense full of potential. Lucas Salih, Jahmai Jones, now Max Liebman. Add Max Liebman to the mix. I think he's turned heads in this series, in this playoffs, and he is just beasting up to this point, hitting well over 500. He goes 3 for 4, 4 RBIs. I mean, just a straight monster. And so we move on to the next series. We actually end up playing Jackson, and they were 41-29 during the regular season, and they made it to the championship series. So you can see we did take the first game, and they took the second one, and then we took the third one. So now we're on to game 4 in the championship here as we have a chance to clinch this one and bring home a Southern League title for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp as we put Mitchell White on the mound. I wanted to get some work with him. I wanted to see him pitch. I haven't really pitched with him much because he's he's probably the second or third guy in our farm system as far as pitchers go, because remember, we did trade away Trevor Rogers. We have Braxton Garrett still, but Mitchell White is kind of that next guy behind them. So now here back to the game. In the second inning, we are at the plate here with Lamont Wade coming up with the guy on third, and he does his job with 1 out, at least putting the ball on the ground, getting a runner in to score. So we take the 1-0 lead here in the second inning as Ryan Brinker comes up, hits an absolute missile off the pitcher, but he does stay in the game. He is all right, but Howard Armas comes up on a 0-2 count, hits a line drive to center field, but not before we take the 1-0 lead. So here's Mitchell White here in the 4th inning. You can see a lot of our minor league pitchers, especially on the Double-A team, they throw gas. I mean, you can see he's throwing upper 90s with that fastball, and it's kind of hard to hit. I gotta be honest, it's hard to hit, but he doesn't really have a secondary pitch. That's the only thing. Mitchell White, he can throw the ball 99, 98 miles an hour. He can definitely throw that consistently, actually, but he has a sinker and he has a changeup. and a curveball. But the curveball is hard to control. The sinker is easy to hit, so he's definitely got to just develop those pitches as our offense comes to the plate. And not much offense in this one. I mean, in the last series, we had a lot of offense, but here we don't have too much as Max Liebum does beat out an infield single. And Hassan Diaz comes up with 2 outs, but this one's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman, as this is going to be a pitcher's duel. So here's Mitchell White here in the 7th inning here, cruising as he gives up a hit down the left field line. Max Liebum is going to field this one off the wall, but the runner is going to stand up there with a double to start out the 7th inning. But facing another lefty, the exact same area, a hit down the left field line, this time drives a run in. And now this game is going to get interesting. 1-1 tie here in the 7th inning as we move on in this game. Still no outs here, but we do get the next batter to strike out, and then we get this batter to ground out to third base. So guy on second here, 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Mitchell White calming down a little bit. You see that fastball has lost a little bit of velocity, but I mean, you can see he's throwing gas here on the mound well late into this game as our offense just can't get anything going. Here's Jahmai Jones getting a hold of one to left center, but that one's just not deep enough as Lucas Ali does come up for another at-bat with 2 outs here, but he strikes out on the slider on the outside part of the plate. So now we move on to the 9th inning here. We have Nomar Gonzalez, one of our pretty good prospects here in our system, another lefty, and he gets 2 strikeouts. Can he make it a third here in the 9th? No, but he gets a pop-up to Ryan Brinker, and this one is going to extras as Max Liebum grounds out here in the 9th inning. And we just could not get anything going here in the first 9 frames as Hassan Diaz does get a ground ball, and one more. Ryan Brinker does swing at one out of the zone, and our offense just did not get going here. But hopefully it can get going in these extras as we're here on to the top of the 11th. This time Kingston Hill into pitch, and you know he's been improving all year long. As look at that, another 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Our pitchers in AA can just throw smoke like I was saying before, and we get another pop out to right field as we are now onto the bottom of the 11th as Jahmai Jones hits one deep, but that one's right to the right fielder as Lucas Ali comes up and he hits a missile to left field, but he gets robbed on the diving catch by the left fielder that time. He wasn't even running after that. He just basically walked and all of a sudden just dove. But Max Liebum, I mean, if there's one guy that's still hot, it's him. He hits one to the right side, but Hassan Diaz comes up and he hits a pop-up to the left fielder. And this one is going to go even further in this game as we take it to the 14th inning. This time Edward Cabrera is in out of the bullpen as he gets a strikeout that time on a slider. Another 98-mile-an-hour fastball, just flamethrower after flamethrower we continue to have in our pen. And look at that, another strikeout on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So now we are on to the bottom of the 16th inning as Jahmai Jones gets a pitch to hit but barely misses that one. That one's going to stay in fair territory and get caught by the left fielder as Lucas Ali comes up and he turns on one pretty well right to the center fielder. And next comes up Max Liebum, who's been the hot man in this playoffs, and he drives one deep, and that one does reach over the right fielder's glove. So now can we do it with a guy in scoring position? Can Hassan Diaz come through for us? 3-2 count, 2 outs. But nope, he swings and misses at the slider across the middle of the plate. But good thing we have some good pitching on the mound as Edward Cabrera still coming in, striking out batters as he gets another strikeout. This time the batter is looking on the outside part of the plate. So now we take this to the top of the 17th. Can we clinch it here in the 17th as Lamont Wade does get a ground out to the second baseman, But Ryan Brinker does come up on a 3-2 count, hits one hard up the middle, but now we have 26 speed, don't have any pinch runners off the bench really, so we can't really pinch run for him as Howard Armas strikes out swinging. This game is going to go on forever, but we do bring in Jacob Ingram to pinch hit for our pitcher. Remember, Jacob Ingram was hurt pretty much the whole year, so he comes up in the pinch hit role. He hits one to second base, and the second baseman cannot get to it as Ryan Brinker with that 26 speed rounds third, heads home, and he's going to slide in. And the Double-A Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp win on a walk-off and take the Southern League Championship. And what a story behind that game-winning hit. Ryan Brinker comes in to score, but the man who hits him in, Jacob Ingram, is the man he took the spot from. So the starting catcher, the original starting catcher, brings in the man who took his spot. What a way to end the Double-A season. 17 innings as we take home the trophy. And look at the strikeouts in this game. Mitchell White pitched 7 innings, just masterful. 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts. But look at the guys out of the pen. Nomar Gonzalez had 4 strikeouts to 3 innings. Kingston Hill had 4 strikeouts to 3 innings. Then Cabrera had 6 strikeouts to 4 innings. 19 strikeouts total in this game. We could not have done it without that great bullpen, because we definitely didn't have the run support, but we did get 14 hits, but we pull out the victory. So the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, their season ends with the trophy, and finally we get to see some of these guys moved up to the MLB level for our playoff push. And you know what? Max Liebum has earned it. He's going to get the call up as well. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. You don't want to miss any of this action. We're making that playoff push. Can we fend off the Nationals and Mets for the division? You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Let's go.